Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're going to be doing an Appliancer deck profile. So I'm excited to do this one for you guys because this was actually a part of my top 5 decks that you can build for $5 or less, which was an amazing top 5 list that I'm really excited that you guys enjoyed so much. It got so much positive feedback, and I'm really looking forward to doing more top 5s like that on the channel. But I'm really excited to bring this one to you guys because I figured I would go ahead and profile it for you guys and give it an update because I haven't updated it in a while, and also you guys wanted to see an updated version of it because of the top 5 video. That if you guys have not seen that video, you should definitely go check that out because there is some really good budget decks on that particular list for you guys to check out as well. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon in the description below for all those awesome rewards like getting your name to your single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your patron along with test hands. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Appliancer Socket Troll. So Socket Troll is really good. That if this card, or if you control an Appliancer monster, you can instantly special summon this card from your hand. And if another Appliancer Socket Troll is special summoned to your field while you control this card, except during the damage step, you can special summon an additional Appliancer Socket Troll from your deck. So basically if you have to, you get the third one, which is pretty good. We then play 3 copies of Copy Buckler. Copy Buckler is really good because basically what it does is you get to target one Appliancer you control, special summon this card from your hand. If you do, this card's name becomes that monster's name until the end phase. And then during the main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from the graveyard to target an Appliance monster you control, special summon one monster with the same name from your hand or graveyard. You can only affect this card once per turn, which is a really good effect because basically it's like a little machine dupe. We then play 3 copies of Breaker Buckler. This card is really good too because during the damage calculation, if an Appliancer monster you control battles an opponent's monster, quick effect, you can discard this card for that battle. That monster you control cannot be destroyed by battle, and also you take no battle damage from it. And if an Appliancer monster you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you manage to discard from your graveyard instead, which is really good. And that's pretty much all the Appliancers we have currently. Hopefully we get more later on. We then play 3 copies of Formud Skipper. Formud Skipper is really cool because you can, during the main phase, you can reveal 1 Link monster in your X deck. And if you do, when you Link summon this turn, you can treat this card as the Link monster with the same name, type, and attribute, and as the reveal monster. And if this card is sent to the graveyard for a Link summon, then you can add a level 5 or higher Cyverse monster from your deck to your hand, which is going to be our 2 copies of Parallel Xyz. So you then get to add a Parallel Xyz from your deck to your hand, which is really good because then you can special summon out your Parallel Xyz to your side of the field if you Link summon, which is pretty good. And also, it has the ability that if this card is special summoned to a zone Link monster points to, then you can also special summon an additional Parallel Xyz from the deck, which is pretty good. I love that effect that is just, when it's special summoned, you get to special summon an additional Parallel Xyz, and they both become level 4, which can help you go into rank 4 plays, or it can also help you go into more Xyz plays, which the majority of the time, or not Xyz plays, but more Link plays, which is the majority of the time what you're actually going to be doing with this card is linking it away for additional plays. We're then playing a single copy of Codebreaker 0 Day. 0 Day helps us go into the Codebreaker engine, which is pretty good because all Link monsters this card points to lose 1,000 attack. All Link monsters pointing to this card lose 1,000 attack except Codebreaker Link monsters. And if a Codebreaker Link monster is on the field, is destroyed by battle or by card effect while this card's in the graveyard or while it's on the field, destroy this card, and if this card is destroyed by battle, then you can add a Codebreaker 0 Day from your deck to your hand, which is really never going to come up. Basically, once you link this away, you're going to be able to climb all the way into the Berserker and get your copy of Codebreaker 0 Day and Swordsman back on the field to help you link climb into some other really good plays. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom, which does make the deck a little bit more expensive, but you can drop these out for Effect Veilers or copies of Forbidden Chalice or Mirror Forces. You can drop it out for those cards as budget options for your copies of Ash Blossom. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Terraforming because the Terraforming comes in really handy for getting out your copy of Appliancer Electrical World, which is really amazing. We play a single copy of 1 for 1. The 1 for 1 is basically here because all of your Appliancers are level 1, so it's really easy to use this card to get out your other Appliancers out of the deck. 1 copy of Monster Reborn because it helps you recover your monsters out of the graveyard and helps you get into Link plays. 1 copy of Appliancer Test. It lets you target an Appliancer Link monster and special summon as many Link 1 Appliancer Appliancer monsters from your graveyard as possible to zones that monster points to, but banish them during the end phase, which is pretty good because it's going to get you into a lot of link plays. We then play 3 copies of Appliancer World. Appliancer World is really good because when this card is activated, you get to add Appliancer card from your deck to your hand, and then also accept the field spell. And then once per turn, if you link summon an Appliancer link monster, you can add 1 Appliancer monster from your graveyard to your hand. And then once per turn, when a monster declares an attack, you can move an Appliancer monster you control to another monster zone, which helps you out a lot because you can kind of co-link and unlink them, because some of them gain effects, or all of their Appliancer monsters gain effects depending on if they're co-linked or if they're not co-linked, which is kind of neat. We then play 3 copies of Appliancer Reuse. Appliancer Reuse lets you target an Appliancer in your graveyard and special summon it, but place it on the bottom of the deck if it leaves the field, which is totally fine because basically you're going to be able to get out your monsters out from your graveyard a little bit easier and get you into some more link plays. We then play 3 copies of Machine Dupe because all of your Appliancers are Machine Dupe targets pretty much, which is really amazing because all of them pretty much have 100 attack or 0 attack, which is really easy to just get them on your side of the field with your copies of Machine Dupe, because if you only open up a single copy of them, then you can just use them and climb into your copy of Keltipus and your copy of Laundry Dragon, which is going to get you out some really nice plays. We then play 3 copies of Where Art Thou for the final 3 spells, and basically what this card does is if you control a level 1 monster, you can add a level 1 monster from your deck to your hand, which is really good because if you open this in your Sock Control, you can normal summon out the Sock Control, special summon out of Sock Control, and get your 3rd Sock Control out of the deck because you control 2 of them, which is kind of cool, so you can have unlimited power because 3 Sock Controls. And basically what this card does is if you don't special summon or you don't normal summon that monster to your side of the field this turn, then you take 2,000 damage, which is a little bit of a shame, but paying the 2,000 is fine if you're trying to get out your monsters. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, I wanted to make this deck a little bit more budget. So I did include a couple of really budget options for you guys. So I included 3 copies of Storming Air Force and 3 copies of Magic Cylinder. So the reason I'm playing these is because I wanted to make the deck a little bit more budget, and it works really good with Laundry Dragon as well. The Magic Cylinder does. And like I said before, if you want to change out the Ash Blossoms, you can play 3 more Mirror Forces in the deck or 3 Jelly Cannons. You can go that route if you want to. If you want to put in the copies of Effect Veiler, you can to give you a little bit more negation. It's kind of up to you, but the copies of Magic Cylinders are basically here because when your opponent's monster declares an attack, you can target that attacking monster, negate the attack, and then inflict damage to your opponent equal that monster's attack, which comes in really handy with Laundry Dragon because Laundry Dragon also burns your opponent for damage even though it's a water monster. And then Storming Mirror Force, if your opponent attacks, then you put all the monsters back in their hand, which I think is arguably the best of all the Mirror Forces, which is why I'm playing this one at 3 over any of the other ones. And you can include, like I said, if you want to change out the copies of your Ash Blossoms for 3 copies of regular Mirror Force, you can do that if you want to make the deck even more budget. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Laundry Dragon because it's my favorite. I love this card, and I think it's hilarious that this is pretty much the boss monster. So what this card does is it can't be used as a link material the turn it's link summon. It does take an Appliancer monster to link into it, and then neither player takes any battle damage from its battles involving this card. And then once per turn, after damage calculation, if this co-linked card battles an opponent's monster, you can banish that opponent's monster. And then once per turn, after damage calculation, if this monster that is not co-linked battles an opponent's monster, you can destroy that opponent's monster, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. Which is what I was mentioning earlier about the combination with Magic Cylinder, because this card can burn your opponent like they're attacking themselves directly, and so can the Laundry Dragon, which is also very, very interesting. We then play double Keltipus. Keltipus is really good too because it lets you, if this card is link summon, or this linked card cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects or their monster's attacks as long as it is linked. And then during damage calculation, if an Appliancer link monster you control is co-linked to this card battles an opponent's monster, your battling monster gains attack equal to the number of monsters co-linked to this card times 1,000. And then during the damage calculation only, it gains that attack. And then once per turn, if an Appliancer link monster you control that is not co-linked to this card is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you get to draw a card, which comes in kind of handy with your copy of Laundry Dragon. We then play a single copy of the Vacuum Elephant. Vacuum Elephant is kind of a neat card. It pops cards because basically it can be used as link material, and also this card is link summon. This card can attack directly while it is not co-linked, and then you can send a card from your hand to the graveyard and then target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. And this card is co-linked, then you can target one monster, your opponent's main monster zone, and destroy it, which is pretty good. We then play the same copy of Griffin because you can link summon into this card very easily and get you multiple arrows, which is really, really nice. I love that ability that just gets you multiple arrows on the field. We then play a single copy of Appaloosa. Appaloosa is just really good because it's going to give you those arrows. One copy of Access Code. Now you can drop the Access Code if you want to for a copy of Boral Load. It is an option for you guys because this card is probably the most expensive card in the entire deck, but it's overall one of the better cards in the entire deck, so you don't have to have it, but it helps if you do. But you can drop it for Boral Load if you want to. I'm playing a single copy of Boral Sword because Boral Sword can help you attack for game, and it's an overall pre-budget option if you guys want to go into this card. We play a single copy of the Codebreaker Virus Swordsman. This card is really good because Swordsman is overall really good because when this card is special summon, if this card is co-linked, then you can special summon one Codebreaker 0-day from your deck, hand deck or graveyard to a zone this card points to. So you can basically make this card for one material because you're just going to immediately get to special summon your 0-day back from the graveyard. It also has the ability that during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was destroyed while in your possession by an opponent's card, it's sent to the graveyard, then you can special summon this card as well, but banish it when it leaves the field. And then we play a single copy of Codebreaker Berserker. Codebreaker Berserker is really easy to summon because it has the ability that when this card is special summoned, if it's co-linked, then you special summon up to 2 Codebreaker monsters from your hand and your graveyard, which is going to be your Codebreaker Swordsman and 0-day as well, which is also really easy to do. And it basically is just going to give you those additional monsters. Play a single copy of Unicorn to spin stuff, a single copy of Phoenix to pop spells and traps, and a single copy of Linkuriboh because you do play a lot of level 1s in this deck, so it's really easy to summon to your field. The other thing I will mention to you guys, if you see anything in the extra deck that you don't want to play and you want to drop it, you can drop any of these cards for a copy of Abyss Dweller as well. For example, if you don't want to play the Appaloosa to give you those additional monster negations, you can drop the Appaloosa for a single copy of Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller and Boral Load are also very good cards in this deck to help you out with additional plays if you see anything that you can't put into the budget. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. It's a really fun deck. And if you guys haven't checked out that top 5 list, you definitely should check out that top 5 list because it's super amazing. All the different decks that I actually put into that. I hope to do more of those. And if you guys did like that list, definitely comment down below some ideas from some other top 5s. Then definitely tell me what you think of this deck down in the comments down below because it's a super fun deck. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.